A federal judge has refused to block the Trump administration's takeover of the U.S. Institute of Peace, and the Federal Reserve is holding interest rates steady as President Trump's tariffs spark uncertainty in the U.S. economy. Good morning, I'm Corva Coleman from NPR News, and here are today's top stories. A federal judge is refusing to temporarily block the Trump administration's takeover of the U.S. Institute of Peace. The USIP is a congressionally funded think tank. Its takeover has been led by Doge. NPR's Ryan Lucas reports some former members of the Institute of Peace have sued, claiming they were unlawfully removed from their positions.
The lawsuit seeks to reinstate the board members who were removed and to block Doge from further accessing the institute or its systems. At a hearing in federal court in Washington, D.C., U.S. District Judge Beryl Howell said she was very offended by how Doge has moved to take over USIP. That includes threatening criminal prosecution and showing up with armed law enforcement to remove senior employees from the building. But Judge Howell says there is confusion in the lawsuit and that she has concerns about its likelihood of success on the merits. She therefore denied the former USIP board member's request for a temporary restraining order blocking Doge's actions while the lawsuit proceeds. Ryan Lucas, NPR News, Washington.
The Federal Reserve has left short-term interest rates unchanged. Fed Chair Jerome Powell says there is uncertainty in the U.S. economy. He says some of that is linked to President Trump's tariffs. Investors have been rattled because these have been on again, off again. NPR's Maria Aspen says some market instability happened last week when President Trump did not rule out the chance of a recession because of tariffs.
The argument Trump is making is that tariffs will be good for the U.S. long term, and that will be worth any shorter-term pain. But most people don't really want to experience any pain, even if it does turn out to be shorter term. So when Powell emphasized yesterday that the U.S. economy is strong and prices aren't soaring up too much yet, at least for the day, that was a pretty reassuring message.
NPR's Maria Aspen reporting. Colorado Democratic Senator Michael Bennet is casting doubt on Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer's future in Democratic Party leadership. NPR's Barbara Sprunt reports Bennet stopped short of calling for Schumer to step down.
Schumer has come under fire from House Democrats and within his own caucus for voting to advance GOP legislation that prevented a shutdown of the federal government. Schumer had signaled that Republicans didn't have the votes to advance their spending measure, but later shifted course, arguing the bill's passage was the lesser of two evils. At a town hall in Golden, Colorado, Senator Bennet was asked when he would call on Leader Schumer to leave his leadership position.
And in dodging your question, let me just say, it's important for people to know, when it's time to go.
Bennet said he didn't think the message was clear to the public what Democrats were fighting for, and said there would be conversations in the foreseeable future about Democratic leadership. Barbara Sprunt, NPR News, Golden, Colorado.
Food and Beverage Corporation Nestle USA is recalling some of its frozen meals made by Stouffer's and Lean Cuisine. The company says a few batches could be contaminated by what it calls wood-like material. There's a report that one person had a potential choking incident. I'm Corva Coleman, NPR News in Washington.